One Piece.
One.
It is the return of the fucking champion, the GOAT.
The champ is here.
I always say World Trick is better, but I mean, that's how my personal feelings.
Can they be co-goats?
No,
cooperative.
not in my heart. But One Piece is the legitimate, undisputed GOAT.
Yeah, I feel that. I guess you could say One Piece is the Jordan, and World Trigger's the LeBron. I don't know anything.
I would say that. Yeah. I would say that. That works for me personally.
That feels fair. That feels fair. But let's get into it. One Piece is back.
Color Hunter with Kobe.
Huh?
Oh shit! Rest in peace.
I mean, I'll sub out Kobe. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But this is One Piece chapter 1054, The Flame Emperor. First of all, I'd like to point out I'm wearing my Soga King shirt in celebration. Soga King. I gotta point it this way because this is
Soga King.
Yeah, I got my.
I can't see a whole camera, but like I believe you. I'm sure the people could see it.
Yeah, the people could see
All
it.
right, I can fix it. That's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Discord cut like that guy.
Damn.
Well, this is Brian over. For everyone watching on the video,
yeah,
I got Brian on the lowest screen and Chris up top like that.
Yeah, and I got my One Piece hat. So celebrating the GOAT return. Big fan. I have a World Trigger hat shirt. I'll wear it for when we cover World Trigger.
I have a Sanji head.
Hey, I have Luffy over there. I forgot to bring him to the table.
It's pretty lit.
It is pretty lit. But anyway, 1054, Flame Emperor. Last we left off, Ryugukyu, Green Bull, I guess, for easy, to make it easy on us. Ryugukyu is pretty much a real mouthful there. He's pulling up to Wano, and he's basically taking out all of Kaido's generals and hitmen and like henchmen solo dolo, and he's like walking over to the flower capital to attack Luffy, it seems. And it turns out the samurai
match him up, dead or alive.
Yeah, dead or alive. And it turns out the samurai peeped him coming, I guess. They
sensed the vegetation.
Yeah, they sensed the vegetation, and they all, well, not all of them, but a handful of them actually end up confronting Green Bull outside of Wano. We have Kawamatsu, we have Darkstorm, Cat Viper, Raizo, Shinobu, I think her name is. I forget the ninja's name, and Denjiro. They all confront Green Bull outside, and Green Bull starts popping off immediately. And he's immediately very disrespectful and kind of alarming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big.
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it later.
Dude, he just immediately just pops off like, don't get in my way, samurai. You should know this by now, but because you guys are not affiliated with the world government, you have no human rights.
Oh, shit!
He said, you guys are not fucking people. So he just like activates his powers, and he reveals that he is a woodsman with the power of the woods fruit. He's basically Nature Man. We gathered as much from, I guess, what we've seen before, but it's an explanation of his ability. He's basically merged with the plants. He's like poison ivy at this point. Just ultra powerful. He is a plant. He's Swamp Thing. I think that would be a better.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
Swamp Thing's pretty serious.
Yeah,
let's not let's not throw that around too loosely.
That's fair. He is pretty serious.
We'll see. One Piece characters ain't nothing to scoff at.
No,
so they could hold it down in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. So the scabbards that are there are all fighting Ryugukyu. I keep saying his name. Well, I'll go back and forth probably. And then
Green Bull.
Yeah, Green Bull.
GB.
Green Bull, GB. That's when Yamato comes in and smashes his head into the fucking ground. And, he declares that he is not gonna, these people have been waiting 20 years to just celebrate without any form of oppression coming their way. And they're not gonna allow anybody to disrupt that. And wouldn't you know, Momonosuke actually is following right behind him.
followed up.
Yeah, he pulled up with Yamato, and he tries to use his flame clouds. They don't come out because I guess he's not entirely used to being a dragon man yet. So, he instead elects to just go bite him. And he's basically like trying to force him out. He's like, "Be gone, get out of the capital." Momonosuke gets captured in Green Bull's vines, and as the scabbards are about to go into a counterattack, Momonosuke yells out that they mustn't fight him, and that's where we cut away from Wano entirely, actually, to get into a scene near Wano. And who do we see but the ship of one fucking Shanks? He's just been chilling out there for who knows how long. And he
dropped specifically for Shanks.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a Shanks drop.
Red hair Shanks!
Red hair Shanks!
Like One-Winged Angel?
Yeah. Red hair Shanks! Red hair Shanks! Red hair Shanks!
Yeah, oh, that might be actually a little bit on point.
Red hair Shanks!
We're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Anyway, and until we get a Shanks drop, we'll give him this. I gave him this 4Kids Luffy yell.
Oh, okay.
All right, so he's looking at the newspaper, obviously, of the page that is announcing Luffy officially as for one of the 4 emperors, with his wanted poster being the Gear 5 Nika Sun God form. And he's like, well, and he's not shocked.
He's like, wow.
Look,
who's an op now?
Oh, man.
Guess who's qualified to be a pack? Oh my god.
Yeah, at that point, Shanks flashes back to the day that they actually stole the gum fruit from the Navy. And we even get a little Who's Who cameo on board. The guy with the horns. That was Who's Who. And, basically, he's just like, what the fuck do they want? There's nothing on here, just this one devil fruit. And obviously they stole it. And apparently straight from there, they went to Luffy's town, it seems.
That's what it seems.
That's what it seems. I feel like that's the implication, is that as soon as they stole this devil fruit, they pulled up to Luffy's village quick. And you know the rest of the story. The rest is history. Shanks protects Luffy from the big sea monster, loses his arm. And I feel like Shanks is like, yes, all the work is coming to fruition. This arm that I sacrificed it's finally paying off. It's finally becoming worth it. So everybody's talking about how like they should land in Wano and go see Luffy. It's time. He's become a great pirate. That's the whole goal. That's the thing that Shanks asked him to promise. The qualifier that Luffy had to get to meet Shanks again is that he'd have to be a great pirate. And Shanks is like, I'm not interested in seeing Luffy right now. And everybody's like, what? Why? And he's like, well, his boy is tearing up our fucking territory right now. It would be bad if I'm like buddy with the guy who's like henchman is just disrespecting me right now. And his crew is like, true.
That is annoying.
That is frustrating. I do love that like Bartolomeo is like
right?
that's being acknowledged right now.
Right. Apparently that was shown.
It was. It's a cover story.
I don't remember what page.
It was a while ago. It was a while ago. Where they were just basically doing
a long time ago.
Yeah, the cover story was basically checking in with the fleet. So every one of them got a little bit of a look at what they were doing. Bartolomeo was that he was just going around fanboying about Luffy, and he burned Shanks's flag because he doesn't know his history with Luffy.
Right.
I feel like he wouldn't have done that.
Shanks as well.
Yeah.
That was his OG and saved his life.
Yeah, I love that. But anyway, Shanks goes upstairs to Ben Beckman, who's just chilling, drinking.
The fifth coolest person in the manga?
Yeah, the apparent, according to Oda, the smartest man in the One Piece universe.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he's like got that. He's apparently like the highest strategic mind in the verse, as far as I know.
Wow.
So yeah, he approaches Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman, he pours him a drink. He pours his captain a drink, and Shanks looks at him. He's like, "Say Beck, I think it's time we make our move. Let's claim the One Piece." The hype train. Hype train.
Yeah, I believe that was Oda letting us know
Yeah.
that it's time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's about to get real.
Yeah, this implies that he had to wait for Luffy to achieve this level of his devil fruit in order for this to happen. Like, in order for him to feel good about like actually going after the One Piece, I feel like he needs Luffy to do that. So, very interesting. That being said, we cut over to the Navy HQ headquarters, and we get some more information about what's been going on in the world. And this is what we kind of nailed. I don't know if we actually said this on a podcast. I think this was literally in our group chat where we were just like ruminating on what might be happening with the Reverie.
Oh shit! Was that in the group chat?
It might be just in our group chat, so you guys have no obligation to believe us. I said it too.
I was like, oh, come on. Y'all gotta take on a word for it, man.
Yeah. I mean, we basically.
That nigga gotta lie. This isn't even that, like, I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I get, but whatever.
What had happened was, it turns out that the news on the street is that Sabo has killed King Cobra of Alabasta, the father of Vivi. He dead now. So he gets one of these. And
Nefeltari.
Yeah, Nefeltari Cobra. And on top of that, they also burned the hoof of the Celestial Dragons, essentially declaring war on the nobles themselves. Because you know what it is. If you burn a flag, if you burn a symbol, you're declaring war. So pretty cool. It turns out that, again, another thing we got right in our group chat is that Kuma was actually freed by Sabo and the revolutionaries. And despite both Ryukyu and Fujitora being there and actively fighting with them, the revolutionaries managed to escape with Kuma. So, one of the Marines are like, well, maybe it was just like really hard for them to use all their power in a place where there's mad kings all over the place and the Celestial Dragons. Akainu being a dick is like, don't give them excuses. They let him get away.
I mean, to be fair, like, both of their abilities, like, are like
huge.
Like, it's really hard. Yeah. Well said, Brian. It's really hard. Like, that is a very fair statement, but that's fine. I mean, I thought when I first seen this, like, I thought it was kind of wild too, but the fact that it was only 2 admirals against 4 highly skilled with a plan, you know what I'm saying? These revolutionaries, and they ended up having Kuma's help after the fact once they probably made contact with him and freed him and allowed him to fight. So it makes sense. It's not like they were waging war right there. It was an in and out mission, so it's very believable. This was I probably should have saved this for my thoughts at the end, but I just wanted to.
Yeah, I mean,
this is called great execution, in my opinion.
So Sabo has escaped with Kuma and the other revolutionaries. Nobody died, it seems, on their side, so good for them. At the same time, as Cobra was assassinated, apparently Vivi has also disappeared. That could mean either she left with them or Imu got her, which I think that's what happened. I think Imu has
one more possibility. There's also one more possibility.
The former or the latter?
I think it's the latter. I think she got taken. She got took by
like she's not safe right now.
Yeah, she's not safe.
There's also one more possibility, but we'll get to that at the end.
Oh, sure. Do you perhaps have a theory?
Yeah.
Ooh, theoretical Brian.
Theoretical Brian.
All right. So, Vivi's gone. There's also, the apparent attempted murder of Saint Charlos, that one celestial dragon that everybody fucking hates, the one that Luffy socked in the face all the way back into Sabaody. And and the one that Doflamingo's family, Saint Miosgard is his name. He beat
That was
him.
Doflamingo's family.
Mm-hmm. Saint Miosgard.
Relative, not directly his mom and dad.
No, it's his relative.
Right. They never denounced their
Yeah, it was just Doflamingo's
around.
father, and he brought them along as well. So the rest of the Don Quixote family seems to be there.
Right.
But Miosgard also showed up in the Fishman Island flashback. He was the celestial dragon that was rescued by Queen Otohime way back in the day. So
yeah, with the blood transfusion.
Yeah.
And that's what led him to basically almost killing Saint Charlos, because I don't know if you guys remember, or for everyone listening, back during the Reverie arc in between Whole Cake and Wano, there was a altercation between Saint Charlos, one of the celestial dragons, and Shirahoshi. He tells one of his guards to run up on her and grab her, and he's like, "Oh, I caught her," and he's gonna turn her into his personal slave. Y'all know how they do. Horrible. And Saint Miosgard stood up for her, and I think punched that nigga in his face or something.
I think he literally. I think he hit him with like a wooden plank or something. He hit him very hard.
Yeah, he got him. Yeah, he they say Princess Shirahoshi.
Yeah,
and it was crazy because Lucci was there too, and they stopped the other people from interfering. With So that was, cause I'm bringing this up because I remember reading this and drawing a complete blank. So I said, nah, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I went back to the Reverie arc, and there you go.
Yeah. There's on top of that, this is just not a great couple days for the Marines, because as it turns out, after Cobra was assassinated, ever since the kings have returned to their nations, there's been this 8-nation revolution that is and there's already 8 nations that seem to be a part of the revolutionaries, I think, is what I'm I feel like it's written strangely. I don't know if it's a translation thing, but this is what I got from it, is that there's an 8-nation revolution, which I feel like is the nations that are allied with the revolutionaries in one way or another. And now that Sabo has killed what is of a person of celestial dragon descent, it has kind of stoked the fires of rebellion in more nations across the world, seeing as how nobody likes those motherfuckers, and Cobra being the only representative, so to speak, in a tangential sense, because he's not a celestial dragon, but he is the only one who's a descendant of the original 20 founders to actually attend the Reverie and be in the meeting. The other celestial dragons don't really take part in it, it seems. So, yeah, the apparent assassination.
But the other kings do. The other kings do. Aren't they technically celestial dragons?
No.
Or descendants of?
No, because King Riku from Dressrosa, he's not a Doflamingo. He's not a Don Quixote.
Right, which is why their situation's different. Oh no, they did pull up to the Reverie. Right, Rebecca did too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just because you're a king of a nation that is one of the founding nations doesn't mean that the monarch there is necessarily related to the celestial dragons.
And you're saying Cobra was the only celestial dragon out of all of the kings.
The only one who can claim celestial dragon status, because he's an actual descendant of one of the 20 leaders that founded the government.
I see.
Yeah, there's celestial dragons who are just 20 families that are descendants of people who founded the world government, and then they're just kings of various nations. Some of them may be people from the countries that these founders came from. Some of them are just new people, like Fishman Island. They don't have any ties.
Right. They're fish people.
Yeah.
Until they mix with one of them or something, but whatever.
Yeah, I believe this is their first time at the Reverie. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's not a requirement.
Okay.
Wasn't Fisher Tiger also against celestial dragons and shit?
Well, yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
He was an actual slave. He was a literal Mary Jo slave.
He was Joy Boy for a second.
Yeah.
He was.
He was the next closest thing.
He was Nika, man. For a hot second, man, he was the man, yo. R.I.P. to a real nigga. And
what if he did have the gum fruit?
No, we would have seen it. He would have used that. He
wouldn't have been able to do fish stuff, that's for sure.
He wouldn't be able to swim necessarily, so he'd be able to breathe. Jack has a devil fruit, and he was just chilling down there.
Really?
Yeah, Jack is a fish man.
But he could swim?
No, he could just survive down there. He can breathe underwater, but he just can't swim at all. So he's just down there. He's just on the sea floor like that. That was that one moment. I don't know if you remember when Zoe smacked the shit out of his boat, and he was like, "Come get me, someone."
Oh yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even realize that. I didn't know he was a fisherman.
Yeah, he's a fisherman.
So random.
Yeah.
He just so happens to be a fishman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, the chapter ends with apparently Sabo, the information that Sabo is being worshipped now. He's even probably got more status than Dragon himself. Now that he's assassinated what is a celestial dragon in apparently a lot of people's eyes. So, big deal. And, he's being tied to Luffy because, everybody knows that they're brothers. So I guess what I imagine is a revolutionary is just spreading the gospel of Sabo. And is like, and on the flip side, in the world of pirates, the Flame Emperor's brother, that's what they're calling him now, the Flame Emperor. The Flame Emperor's brother has upended the old order by, defeating Big Mom and Kaido. So, times are changing. And Akainu's like, wow, this is a crazy time for me to be in charge. Luckily, I don't care what happens, though. I want all the smoke. I'll take whoever wants to come at us, and I will drive each and every one of them to the depths of the fucking sea. And that's where this chapter ends.
Pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, lots to dissect. Honestly, I guess I should get out of the... Is this anybody's RGC?
This is my RGC.
This is my RGC.
Whoa!
You gotta give it to One Piece.
Then this is a unified, really good chapter of the week.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
I love that drop.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into our thoughts. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
So I don't know what the right word for it is, but I felt like I had to give One Piece the RGC. And I don't do it begrudgingly. It's just that, man, a couple of the other chapters were just that solid to me. But, we'll save that discussion for later. Yes, One Piece returns, and even though it was contentious, it is my favorite chapter of the week. Let me tell y'all a little story. Sometimes the conditions you absorb something in, like that you when you decide to read something or listen to something or whatever, however your mood is in or how you're feeling physically, can really affect how you take in information. I started reading One Piece when I was at work. I was very tired, my feet was hurting, and I was like towards the end of my break, so I told myself, I don't have a lot of time. So let me try to at least knock out One Piece, because my friend was at work was pressing me to read it because he was like, oh, it's really good. So started reading the first few pages, and it got to where they showed Shanks, and I just wasn't excited, and I knew something was wrong, and I was like, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. So I was like, I'm not gonna even finish it. I actually didn't even have time to finish the chapter, so I guess I'm blessing in disguise because, I share how I feel with my friend at work, and he's like, "Nah, you're bugging." And I was like, "I know I'm bugging, man. I don't know. Maybe I'll just feel better later. So I get home, I chill, eat. I actually played a video game for like a couple hours, and it's like late. I'm like almost falling asleep, and I start to smoke, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna at least try to read One Piece now, even though I'm still tired. I was like, I want to at least read it because I'm interested in how the chapter finishes, you know. But something told me like, yo, Josh, read the last chapter first, just to remind yourself. Because I started this chapter from the beginning when Ryugoku was walking, and I was like, wow, he really started it exactly where he left off. But I wasn't sure, so I went back to the last chapter, read that whole thing, and then as I read that, I got hyped. I was like, oh shit, the next chapter is like right here, and I didn't even finish it yet. So, yo, like it got to Shanks, and I was like, oh man, I started seeing the panels, reflecting on Luffy's past, and then like the little bit of talk between, the crewmates, and it all gets to the part where he says, let's claim the One Piece. I'm not gonna make the complete edgelord prediction of or theory of saying that Shanks is going to be a bad guy, that he's all along been this mastermind that's been plotting to just get the One Piece offers. That sounds fucking ridiculous, to set up a child to predict him to be an emperor and Nika the Sun God. Like there's a lot we don't know, but I'm not willing to believe that is some type of evil, nefarious plan. However, it did make me think about, what does Shanks represent and what does Dragon represent? I'll tell you this. We know what Dragon represents. We don't know his whole story. We don't know his whole background. But he is a revolutionary. He is fighting for change. He is fighting against the oppression of the celestial dragons and their marine cronies that enforce their royal laws, What's Shanks about? They can't have the same shtick. I'm not saying they can't, but it would seem a little odd for them to both be these guys that want to ultimately save and free the world. I feel like there's just a little bit more depth to Shanks' character, whereas whatever we learn about Dragon, it's going to just reinforce the fact of why he's a revolutionary. We have no idea what Shanks' motivations are. You know what I'm saying? What led him to those? So, if Dragon is the revolutionary, what is he? What is Shanks? The pirate? I don't know what that means. These are just thoughts I had, These are the things that came across my mind. So, and I think Oda's setting us up for something. I'm going to continue my thoughts, but it sounds like you have a rebuttal, Brian. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, the distinction between pirates and revolutionaries is that pirates aren't heroes, so to say. Like, they're not there to actually go for change. They're more like selfish anti-heroes for some extent. Luffy is not a hero. He makes that clear in everything that he like and how he acts. Most of what he does is mostly for himself, but he also happens to align with other people in a good way. So he's not really doing things for righteous reasons. But the revolutionaries are. So essentially the revolutionaries are, if the world government are the villains, then the revolutionaries are the heroes, so to speak. Like, they're the people who are actually doing things for righteous reasons.
So you believe that Shanks definitely has his heart or his mind in the area of being against, the Marines, especially as a pirate, but also philosophically, like against the celestial dragons, perhaps, like is what you're like implying, that regardless of like his actual purpose, it's something in that area similar.
What I'm trying to say is that don't be surprised if Shanks has been because he's a pirate, he's not a revolutionary, so don't expect him to don't be surprised when he does something or that his intentions aren't as good as we all think, because pirates
that's exactly what I'm anticipating, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's actually, I was gonna get to that towards the end of my thoughts, but I'll just go ahead and say it straight up. I think I think if I have a theory, it's that we're getting lined up to see Luffy end up facing off against Shanks for some reason. And it's not about someone being evil. It's about someone just being in your way and who wants it more. I think it's going to be a little bit more pure, like I want it and you want it. And it's not about any agendas or politics. You know, it's just for the pure joy of discovery. And, you know, I could see something poetic like that happening. But knowing Luffy, or just knowing how shonen stuff works in general, Shanks is gonna have to do something divisive. Is that the right way to? Yeah, right. Like this, he's gonna have to do something in conflict with Luffy's interest or feelings. In my opinion, I foresee something like that happening, but who knows?
I kind of have a rebuttal.
I'm not gonna die on that hill. I think and that would sound super interesting to me.
No, there's definitely like a conflict between Shanks and Luffy already. Luffy has acknowledged that if he wants to be the king of the pirates, he has to beat all 4 emperors. So I think he's always planned on fighting Shanks from the beginning.
Does he know Shanks is the emperor? Like he knows now?
No, I think he knew.
If he didn't know before,
he's always known.
All right.
But yeah, he knew that he would have to fight. Like when he initially made the alliance with Law, Law's only intention was to take down Kaido. And Luffy's like, well, that actually works out because I'm planning on taking down all 4 of them. Yeah, well, I was going to do that anyway. So sure, let's do it together. Yeah, I like to think that maybe it's a little bit of both with Shanks. I think Shanks can have an ulterior motive without necessarily having like malicious intent, you know? Because he has a tie to the One Piece just by the fact that he was pretty close with Roger. And Roger, I think, gave him the hat, I would imagine. So, and he did say something to him before he died. So I think Shanks is acting on something that came from Roger. Not necessarily, maybe not an order necessarily. But, you know, they had a relationship that, you know, would give me reason to think that like Shanks has a tie with Roger that makes him push towards the One Piece more than anything. Shanks is an interesting one because I don't know if he cooperates with the government necessarily, but he seems to have a somewhat working relationship with them.
Yes,
because he can like,
and that's very weird to me.
Yeah, it's either he's
red
like
flag, like if it's a red or a green flag, it's leaning more red. You know?
Yeah, I think everybody's leaning towards red when it comes to Shanks a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, Shanks could also be using the world government, his status. We don't know his actual relationship with the Gorosei. We don't know why they just let him pull up to their fucking office, being one of the most notorious pirates in the New World.
Right.
Who knows?
Fucking weird, guys. Something's not adding up.
Yeah, I would like to think that like Shanks is playing everybody, you know? Like I don't think he has like a good relationship with them. He has some kind of arrangement maybe, but it's not a friendly one, it feels. I don't know. We have nothing to go on. Oda's very good at not giving us any clues, but still coming out with the most plausible thing possible. So I don't know. But yeah, you have more thoughts, right, Josh?
Kinda, nothing major. All like let me see. Let me go through these pages. Yeah, I'm really. Oh, I mean, here's the fucking big. I'm pretty sure like no one really like talked about this, but like in the group chat or prior, but we all know Sabo did not kill Cobra.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
We all 100 like we're all like on board here, right? I mean, like it could be the case, but I'm not betting on it. I wouldn't bet money on that, you know?
Neither would I.
Mm-hmm. So who did kill Cobra? Why did they kill Cobra, right? I mean, where the fuck is Vivi? I hope that she's with the Flame Emperor himself.
Yeah. I mean, world government for sure shadow assassinated him.
For sure.
For sure. They don't like Alabasta. They don't like them.
They didn't like them,
they did
right?
not.
Cobra
like
was
them.
asking questions at the reverie that they did not like.
Yeah, and also like the Mary Joie people don't take kindly to people who leave them. The example being Doflamingo. You know, like his father left and it was like you're on your own and allowed like his dad to be killed basically. And did not.
They kind of instigated it too. It didn't just happen, right? They kind of like
No, I mean like
facilitated it.
Doflamingo's father was naive and he didn't realize how much people fucking hated celestial dragons. So when he descended upon like just these oppressed villages that were probably affected directly by them, they were not received well. And
yeah, he was like, oh, they thought shit was sweet.
yeah, they thought
It's a tragedy, but it's understandable.
Yeah, no. So and Doflamingo was not accepted back in, even though like he came back basically, and they just said no. You left. Your father left. You and your brother are like dead to us. So, so they don't take kindly to people who leave them. There's definitely like a huge classist and elitist slant towards the Gorosei and Emu and the Celestial Dragons, where they see themselves obviously as above people. They call other people humans. They don't see themselves as human. They see themselves as higher than that. So they were also talking about, you know, when the Gorosei went to go see Emu, he was like, what light should we extinguish now? That light's supposed to be Alabasta. They're talking about genocide again. So I think they're trying to get rid of Alabasta. Because they don't like Alabasta.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. You know, guys, I have one last thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of like a fun thing. Well, not really. All right. A friend brought up this weird question to me, and he was like, do you think, like, how do you feel about, like, Marines having Conqueror's hockey? And I said, what do you mean? Like, power scaling wise, or you mean, like, philosophically? And I was like, you know, he's like, well, you know, like, because, like, do you think they should all have it, like at this point, you know? And I told him no for two reasons, one for power scale and one for on the philosophical level. So I'm gonna go with the latter first, right? Marines are the fucking cronies of celestial dragons. They are not conquerors. They're not leaders. They are not independent thinkers. They're fucking brainwashed lapdogs.
Mm-hmm.
They're like I said, they're grunts. Feel me? Doges. They're not about ruling nothing. You feel me?
Right.
So I think that the way the power works. I mean, if we see the people who do have it, right? Kaido, Big Mom, Zoro, Luffy, etc., etc. Like these are all people who don't bow down to no fucking body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing they have is mutual respect for other people, and that has nothing to do with strength. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're real bosses. You feel me? Real leaders for their own, groups of people, not these Marines. But I think that not only do they not qualify for it, I don't think it's necessary because, Conqueror's hockey or how it's used offensively with Rio, it's just an offensive technique. Like armament hockey was something that I feel like kind of everybody has to have because without it, you could do absolutely nothing to Logia fighters. And that's kind of the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it also gives you a general boost to strength and durability that it's like if you don't have it, you better have one wicked-ass fruit to make up for it. You know what I mean? It's that much skill. But, I mean, everyone has armament. Hockey, the Rio is like a skill to fight against. You know what I'm saying? These other people. And I think they could get around shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone like, the Green Bull could definitely get around someone with Rio. You know what I mean? He's not going to auto lose just because someone could use that technique. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's fair. I don't think they should have it, and I think it would be fine if they didn't have it. If I see Akainu with that shit, I'm going to be mad tight.
Yeah. I would say that, like, the Admirals would probably have it. If anybody in the Marines has it, it's probably in the Admiral circle. Garp.
That's the only thing I'll accept.
Garp and Sengoku.
No, fuck them, man. They work for the government.
They're
Fuck
sure.
them.
But like Conqueror's Haki does.
Garp is also a D. So there's that.
Yeah, Garp is like the D. The legend of the D is that they're like enemies of the gods. So
I guess so. Maybe they made a mistake. They brought him into the government and it was like, maybe we can control the will of D.
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Right, that makes sense, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you want a promotion? You want to be an admiral?" He's like, "Nah."
Yeah, he didn't become an admiral when he could have. He stayed vice forever. That was a choice. Because I think when you're an admiral, you're for real. Like, you got to do what we say, dude. I think vice admirals probably have a little bit more freedom to move around and
slightly more agency.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Smoker has all the agency in the world. He just goes where the fuck he wants and floats around, essentially.
But yeah. Yeah. I think that's an interesting question. I would think maybe the admirals have it. Higher ranking people in the world, the government, to some degree, have it.
The thing about the admirals are that they're devil fruit powerhouses for the most part. They don't look at the admirals for Haki power, essentially. Yeah. I think Haki is more of a pirate thing than a Navy thing. Essentially.
Like Conqueror's Haki.
Well, Smoker has Haki. Yeah, Smoker has armament,
It's because we show sure, they have like basic level Haki, like armament, like observation. That's all they really need. But this series isn't all Conqueror's Haki. Conqueror's Haki doesn't solve every situation.
Yeah, it's also rare.
Look at Law and Kid versus Big Mom. It's like sometimes devil fruits overpower even like the strongest level of Haki, which is why Akainu exists. Akainu is the ultimate fucking eraser. Like he it doesn't matter how much Haki you have, he'll erase your shit.
He's magma.
I mean, with his nice quirk. His fucking devil fruit.
Someone's excited. But yeah, Josh, those are your thoughts?
That was everything, guys. I don't know if y'all have anything left to say.
Yeah,
I do. Making so many rebuttals.
Brian,
so
go for
it. I have a few points. First off, something that I just realized right now. If you look at the cover page, one of these things is not like the others.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Let me go back. Let me go check.
Buggy.
One of these things are not like the others.
Let me see if I can figure it out on my own. You want to...
Man, you got to make me go all the way back. I closed the chapter, Brian.
I think you'll be able to see it.
Dude, this should take forever to load up. Jesus Christ. Lord save me.
Shanks?
Okay.
Shanks is not like the others? Everybody's like, ah!
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has a big, wide smile, and Shanks is the only one that's not smiling like them. So it's pretty clear that Shanks is the odd one out in this race.
He's dying next.
I think Buggy is more likely to become a fucking Pirate King than Shanks due to this cover page. Just because of this cover page, and I know that's saying a lot.
Brian,
I know that's saying a lot.
Damn.
On TikTok.
Just because
that's going on TikTok.
That's what Brian said. Brian said.
Put him to tear your ass up, Brian.
Just remember, the One Piece made everybody smile and laugh. And all three of these guys are smiling and laughing, and they look crazy. But Shanks is the only one that's tame. So I think that's just one little red herring. No pun intended. One little red herring that Shanks is not going to be Pirate King before any of these guys.
Well, I'll say this.
Whoever replaces him next will have a smile and fit in with the others.
Well, I'll say this. I think maybe that is like a little bit of an intentional thing. There could be something intentional to this cover page. Oda does like to hide things in color page spreads sometimes. So maybe, yeah, it could be just Shanks' personality, but that could also feed into a lot of things going on with Shanks and why he's different from the others. Everybody else is an absurd person except for Shanks. He's pretty much...
Shanks is way too cool to do anything like that. Like, to express too much emotion.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
He's red hair Shanks, Brian. Like...
Yeah, I know, but that's the point.
Come on.
Yeah, I hear what Brian's saying. I think it makes sense.
I don't.
He's a gangster. He's a gangster, but he's not the gangster. Essentially,
Well,
he's more like the setter than the spiker.
You said Buggy holds more weight.
yeah.
Buggy, judging by the cover page, he's more likely. I'd say just by the cover page alone.
You heard it here first.
All right, on to the next. Let's get on to what happened to Vivi. All right, so there is a theory out there that Kuma sent Vivi somewhere else before she could get captured by the world government or by the Holy Knights, essentially. So he either sent her to the revolutionaries, to Dragon, or she's on her way to Wano right now. So that's one of the possibilities. So there's 3 possibilities. Vivi either got captured, Sado got away with her, or Kuma sent her somewhere else.
I would say Kuma's is probably a little unlikely, given how we don't know how much agency he has or control over his devil fruit post-death. So
true, he's a full robot now.
Yeah, he's a full robot, and his last request to his last action as sentient Kuma was to protect the Thousand Sunny. So I don't know how operational he is in that sense. I'm not counting it out, but it would. We really have to get a baseline for how much of Kuma is left in there, because I think the whole point is that there isn't anything left of him. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that will be explained more. That's one thing I'll say that is unlikely, but we've been wrong before. I'm not gonna say it's entirely wrong.
We sure have been wrong before.
There is also one more theory.
Oh my god!
And it's also in reference to Shanks, right? And how this is all going to go down. So essentially, there's a theory that Davy Backfight is going to come back, and Shanks is going to do a Davy Backfight for the Straw Hat once they meet again.
That would be pretty funny. That would be
that?
The Davy. You remember Silver Fox?
Long Ring, Long Land.
The game they played with that fucking gag character, essentially.
All right, so let me
you don't remember, Josh?
Because it's not a very memorable arc. Let's be real here.
I remember.
Not a lot of people like it.
When did it happen?
It happened right after
Skypiea.
No, right before CP9.
It happened right after Skypiea, before CP9.
All right, so essentially,
Afro Luffy. You don't remember Afro Luffy?
I'm sure a lot of people don't remember.
Wow.
I'm sure a lot of people don't remember.
A lot of people remember the Davy Backfight.
Essentially, Davy Backfights is when 2 pirates challenge each other to a game with a prize. Whoever wins gets a reward of that they name. So during the Foxy fight, it was whoever wins this Davy Backfight, I could take one of your crewmates. So, and every game that they play, they lose more and more crewmates to the Foxy Pirates. And in order to get them back, you have to play for them. You have to fight for them. So essentially, it's not even you don't have to have a malicious intent for the Davy Backfight. It's just an agreement between pirates to play a game in which they get a reward of whatever they name, as long as they agree to it. And this Davy Backfight would be between the red-haired pirates and the Straw Hats, which would make sense because they don't really hate each other, so they're probably not gonna fight over anything else. So a Davy Backfight would be the most sportsman-like fight between the two. It would make the most sense. They play the game, they stake something on it, and they fight for it. And everybody can go for it, I guess. Anybody on the Straw Hats could go against each other. So I think that would be a pretty interesting way to bring it back. Make the Long Ring, Long Land arc actually make sense.
Well, I think it makes sense. Well, look, here's the thing. A lot of people discount the Davy Backfight as and you can have your feelings about it. I get it. It's not, it feels the most fillery. It feels like manga filler. It's so strange, that arc. But I enjoyed it because it does have kind of a significance. I would say. I think the significance of the Davy Back fight is that like it preceded an arc where things got extremely difficult for the Straw Hats, where like the Grand Line suddenly went up a level after they got back from Skypiea, and they nearly lost everything, like several times over. And the idea of Luffy taking on this silly competition that like seemingly has no stakes, but then when he got to his game, which is just a fight, he almost lost everything. Like he almost lost the right to be a pirate essentially. So it was a silly game, but it was to prove that like what Luffy doesn't understand is that like in that moment, even this silly little thing could have meant the end of everything, in a sense. But that's the thematic element that I took from Davy Back fight.
That's why I think it's coming back against Shanks.
I think it makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think it makes sense, the idea of a Davy Back fight and like Oda's tendency to bring back things from thousands of chapters ago. I wouldn't hate it. Maybe that's what the Elbaf arc is that they get to Elbaf and they do the Davy Back fight there.
And I think Elbaf would be the perfect place for it because combat is seen as a sport in Elbaf, like for giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's theorized that Elbaf has ties to Shanks in general. That's like what people think.
I was just about to ask that. Is that Shanks' territory? Or
we don't know.
Yeah, maybe Bart is just causing up a storm in fucking.
I think we would see giants more, but I don't know. I feel like we would have noticed giants on Bartolomeo's story. He has a different territory. They would have said Elbaf as well.
Where else would they be heading to get, like, if they have to cut through Wano to get to where they're going, where else would he be?
Well, no, they're not going after Bartolomeo. They're just saying that, like, they can't buddy with Luffy publicly because his boy is tearing up their other territory. Shanks has probably a bunch of islands under his, like, control, so Barto just hit one of them. But yeah, I mean, Josh, Brian, do you have any other thoughts?
No, that's it. This was a big chapter filled with a lot of information. So
yeah, I'm gonna keep it short because we've been on One Piece for like an hour. I think actually thinking about it, so pretty brief. Honestly, we're reaching the point of One Piece that I've been waiting for personally. I love One Piece top to bottom, but my favorite parts are always these like middle, like in between arcs, where we get to see like the world react to things and how the world has changed and evolved since the Straw Hats were out there. That's practically like an element of storytelling in manga that like Oda created. The idea that like this world, like worlds can be living organisms that aren't like necessarily tied to the protagonists and move and change on their own. And that's what I always loved about One Piece more than anything, honestly. It's just a lot of people say that One Piece is the king of world building, and it's true for this reason. There's no other manga really does it like that, you know? A lot of manga very much tie the elements of their world to the protagonists that inhabit it. And Oda's the only one that just like allows it to grow without it, independent of them. But that's why I love it. I'm very excited for what comes next in One Piece in this post-Wano arc. So glad that we don't have a break next week from One Piece. Hopefully that continues onward. We get more non-breaks. We're getting color pages again next week, apparently, from One Piece. Very exciting about that. But yeah, not much else to say. Everybody said what I wanted to say. So no point in bashing the hammer, hitting the nail too hard on the head, or whatever the saying is. But yeah, without further ado, we should move on, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Then let's go. Oh, yeah, let us know what you think about One Piece. I'm trying to get more calls to action going. But